create a horizontal and vertical analysis using XBRL data with the S&P 100 data for Microsoft Excel Part 1. We'll begin this lab by going to our Chapter 8 data and opening up the Lab 8.1 S&P 100 facts in Microsoft Excel. If it asks you whether you want to edit the content, go ahead and click on the button, and we'll maximize this and see what we can do here. This data file contains all of the facts for S&P 100 companies over a 3-year period using standardized tags that match the standard XBRL analysis tags. In this case, we have to prepare the data so that we can look up these values from a pivot table. So I'm going to click on my data table, press Ctrl-A to select all, and then from the ribbon I want to go choose Insert and Insert Pivot Table. We're going to select our fact range, add it to a new worksheet, and then click OK. We'll rename the sheet Pivot Facts. And then to create my pivot table, I'm going to drag my ticker to the columns, as well as the year. This will show each company for the 3-year period. Then I'm going to drag my account to the rows, so I can see the different accounts here. And then finally the value to the values bin. We want this to show the sum of value. Once you've built this pivot table, go ahead and take your first screenshot. And now I'm going to come to my sheet 1, and I'm going to test my connection by looking up a value from my pivot data. The formula here, we want to put equals get pivot data, and we're going to choose the value from our pivot table. The location is going to be from our pivot facts table or sheet. And I'm going to put an exclamation point and lock this to A3. So $A, $3. Then the field that I'm going to be looking up is the ticker. And I want to set the ticker in this case to Microsoft, MSFT. Then I want to look up the year. In this case, I want it to be 2020. And then finally, the account, I want to match open bracket net income, close bracket, close quote, close parentheses, and I'm going to take this entire value and divide it by 1 million. That will round out the value. If you put this formula in correctly and you press enter, you should see a numerical value that is looking up, in this case, the net income for 2020 for Microsoft. So I go back to my pivot table, I can search for Microsoft, my list of accounts for 2020, and identify the net income. All right, once you've ensured that is connected and working properly, go ahead and save your work, answer the lab questions for part 1, and then continue with part 2.